Welcome to your chronological order nonfiction text structure lesson 1. So this is the fourth text structure that we're going to cover. We've covered compare and contrast, descriptive, cause and effect, and the fourth one is chronological. So please make sure to have your headphones. What I do, you do. Please write your name. And when you're done, please turn this into the turn-in basket. Let's get started. So, chronological, that's a long word. It basically means when you put something in order. And once again, a recap. Text structures refer to how authors organize information in a nonfiction text. And you know, nonfiction means it's true facts, it's about a real topic, and it's not made up. The chronological text structure describes events in order. That's all chronological means. Events are in order from beginning, middle, all the way to the end, or it's explains the steps to follow in order to do or make something. Once again, the clue is it's going to be in order, following them. So events in order or explaining the steps. The text may be organized in two ways. Sequence of events, meaning events are presented in a chronological order. The word chrono means time. Logic means order. So chronological meaning time order. It's organized in order through time. So time order. Or the text may be organized, we've covered sequence of events, as a how to, meaning the text is organized in a series of directions, underline that, in the order in which they should be completed. So either the text that's in chronological order, it's going to be organized, written as a sequence of events presented in chronological order because of time, or as how to, directions in order that need to be completed. Remember, information will be presented from beginning to end. That's big. It may include dates like years, the month, the day. So let's put years. The signal words that you use whenever you want to write something in chronological order, or if you want to figure out if the text is organized in chronological order, these are the signal words to use or to locate and find. First, next, during, finally. These are the signal keywords that are used in chronological texts. Whenever something's written in chronological order, you use the words first, next, during, finally. These are all in order. Now, what we're going to do now on the bottom part is doodle 3 events in order from your day so far, using our signal keywords first, then, finally. So in this part, I want you to doodle 3 events in order from first, then, finally, from your day so far. So for me, I would put first, that's me waking up. Then I get ready. That's my little hairdo right there. That's me fixing my hair, getting ready. Getting ready for work. Then finally, on my way to work. That's me in my car. That's a terrible car. I know that. That's the road. And that's my really ugly car. I'm not an artist. I never said I was. Now, your 3 events in order from your day so far should be different than mine. And you should not use the same doodle figures. These are original. These are Mr. C original. You can't copyright them. You can't copy off mine. So first, I'm waking up. Then I'm getting ready for work. Finally, I'm on my way to work to teach you guys. So please make sure that you doodle 3 events in order from your day so far. And make sure that they are your own. Do not copy mine. Now, we're going to turn this over to the back. But remember, chronological order just means the text is describing events in order. It's explaining the steps. It's organized in sequence of events. The word chrono means time. Logic means order. Or it's organized as a how-to. Directions in order that need to be completed. And it's always beginning to end, and it might include dates. And your signal words are first, next, during, finally. Now let's turn it over to the back. We're looking at our chronological text structure signal words. Authors use signal words to help readers understand the order of events in a passage written in chronological order. Review the list of signal words below. Then read the passage about the Statue of Liberty. Fill in the blanks with missing signal words to make the passage make sense. We have meanwhile, finally, after, first, then, before, when, at last. So let's get started. Please follow along with me. At a dinner in France in 1865, a group of Frenchmen discussed their desire to celebrate freedom in the United States. They wanted to create a statue for the United States. We have blank. They could do anything. They needed a sculptor, meaning something needs to happen. So let's plug them in. Meanwhile, they could do anything. They needed a sculptor. No. Finally. No, we know finally should be at the end, so it can't be at the beginning. They're wanting a sculpture. They want to start making the statue, but they need a sculpture. Which keyword should we use? After? After they could do anything, they needed a sculpture. No. First, they could do anything, they needed a sculpture. We're getting close. Then, they could do anything, they needed a sculpture. Or before. Before they could do anything, they needed a sculpture. We have our best signal word that fits the context of the sentence. So crossed out before. So before they could do anything, they needed a sculpture. Fortunately, they found Frederick August Bartholdi to help them turn their dream into a reality. Blank Bartholdi created a design of a statue of a woman holding a torch with a burning light of freedom. Now, it looks like we're following events in order. So which of these signal words signifies that it's the beginning of these events? Meanwhile, finally, after, or first, then, when, at last. Let's try, I think it's going to be first. First, Bartholdi created a design of a statue of a woman holding a torch with a burning light of freedom. I plugged it in, and since these events are going to be in order from beginning, middle, and end, we need to use first. It fits the context. Blank, he worked to construct the statue in France. Now we need another signal word that shows another event. The next one. Which of these signal words is similar to next? Meanwhile. Meanwhile, he worked to construct the statue in France. Closed. It's not finally. After he worked to construct the statue in France. No. At last would signify that it's towards the end, but it's not towards the end. When or then? Let's try then. Then he worked to construct the statue in France. That fits. That is similar to the word next. Then, so cross it out. Then he worked to construct the statue in France. Blank, construction of the pedestal that the statue would stand on began in France. It was disassembled and shipped to the United States. We need another signal word. It's not finally, it's not at last, or after. It's either meanwhile or when. When construction of the pedestal that the statue would stand on began in the United States? No. Let's try meanwhile. Meanwhile, construction of the pedestal that the statue would stand on began in the United States? Yes. Let's try meanwhile. And it fits. So cross it out. Blank, the statue was assembled in France. It was disassembled and shipped to the United States. We have finally, after, when, and at last. It's not finally. It's not going to be when or at last. Well, maybe when. When the statue was assembled in France, it was disassembled and shipped to the United States. Maybe. Let's try after. After the statue was assembled in France, it was disassembled and shipped to the United States. Which one fits the best, when or after? And the one that we're going to use is after. So cross it out. Then we have blank. The statue arrived at Bedloe's Island in the United States. However, the pedestal for the statue was not complete. We know that can't be finally because that needs to be used at the end. We know it's not going to be when the statue arrived at Bedloe's Island in the United States. No. What about at last? At last, the statue, because that's not telling us it's at the very, very end, but it's close to the end. So let's try at last. At last, the statue arrived at Bedloe's Island in the United States. However, the pedestal for the statue was not complete. And that is our winner. At last, so cross it out. Blank, the pedestal was finished in 1886. The statue was reassembled. Now, it's either when or finally. And I think we're going to say finally for the last signal word because we have two more. So it's going to be when. When the pedestal was finished in 1886, the statue was reassembled. Now we use finally. You always use the signal word finally when it's the last signal word that you want to use in a sentence. Finally, on October 28, 1886, the Statue of Liberty was unveiled. Please make sure that you have this written down with me. Congratulations, you were able to use the signal words in the text in order to make the passage make sense. So please make sure that you write your name and that you turn this in into the turn-in bin. Congratulations. And you are done.